Okay, I really wanted to go over quickly the next iteration of my Sharpen or Diffuse module UI rework. So first of all, uh, yeah, let's just get into um, the module with it all expanded. Obviously, it's a lot of sliders. The module has a lot of controls. I'm not planning on trying to remove any. Um, So let me close this. In general, I don't think it is very often that you will need to have all of them expanded. Um, so yeah, so there's been a lot of updates, removing the properties section title for the global parameters. Um, and then here I split up the coarse and fine sharpen and diffuse controls. So let me reset this. And then we're going to zoom in here, um, and we can kind of play around with this and see if these names make any sense, or make more sense than the current names at least. So under course, this would be like coarse diffusion, and this would be coarse sharpening. And then surface bias you would increase to focus that sharpening on the surfaces or on the edges. So if we want to get a better look for this, um, we will increase the iterations to like 5, and then we will sharpen. And if we want to focus the sharpening on the surfaces, we increase the surface bias. And you can see how that kind of anywhere where there's like an edge, it starts to pull that that sharpening away from the edge. And if we toggle this on and off, you can still see that it's very like the contrast between the background, the sky, and this building right here is still very much so being sharpened. But that sharpening, you can see there's actually a lot of sharpening happening in the surface of the side of that building. And that's with the surface bias turned up. And if we go the opposite way with surface bias, we can see that it really gets isolated on the edges. And now if we kind of turn it off and on, you can see the difference there. So this is kind of a way to choose where the effect is being applied. So let me know. It used to be called, well, in a previous version of my proposal, it was called edge uh, uh, or surface balance, or I think at one point I just called it edge, like edge and surface with like a little bi-directional arrow between them. So I think surface bias is a little bit more simple, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, we will definitely need to continue working on it and to see what people think. So yeah, and then it's the same for the fine effect. So if we like increase the sharpening here and then increase the surface bias, we'll see that the edge starts to lose a lot of the sharpening, and it is kind of directed away from the edges. Whereas here we can see that it's very much so centered or contained around the primary edges. Um, so yeah, in the auxiliary sharpen and diffuse collapsible panel, I don't have it broken up into coarse and fine. I just added the coarse and fine uh, 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 keyword after the controls. I didn't think it was necessary to have like separate headings underneath it, and I also am not sure that it's possible to have extra settings extra sections within a collapsible section. So yep. And this is also, let me just touch on fine tuning here. This section that I renamed from edge management to fine tuning. If we have something like let's just say that we're really trying to just sharpen up this image, make it nice and crispy. We can use the fine tuning panel to great effect. So first of all, the sharpness, fine sharpness, we'll just leave as it is. For edge protection, we can increase this, and we'll see that it starts reducing all the really like stark haloing around our edges. So let me turn the edge protection off. You can see that's pretty horrendous. It looks really bad. But when we turn up that edge protection, all of those edges start to get cleaned up a lot. And then also we can use our surface protection. If we increase that, we'll see there's some sharpening here on this building that's a little bit like over the top. Looks very digital and kind of just crazy. So if we increase surface protection, we can see very quickly that it starts to reduce that. And if we just want to double check to make sure we haven't just undone all of the sharpening we just did, we can toggle the module on and off. And we can see we're still getting a lot of detail out of the module's effect overall, but it's just not as crazy as if we didn't use the fine tuning controls. So yeah,